Previously on X-Men.
So many good scenes in this movie, too.
Yeah. Like, I want to see it again, because seeing it in a theater was ass.
And this is a great segue to talking about the theater experience. It hasn't aged well.
No. Like, I have always hated going to theaters. Having to go back to see this movie, which I remember I tried to pirate right before, having to go back, I wasn't happy about that. Especially with COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. I desperately was checking all the streaming services to see if I could pay, an exorbitant fee.
So was I.
To watch it myself without having to leave the comfort of my home. Because I don't want to go out to a movie theater.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with the public trying actively to ruin the movie experience for you with bringing out their cell phones in your line of sight.
Yeah.
When Tobey Maguire Spider-Man made his first appearance on screen.
People must have felt that was a time to rummage through your fucking snacks.
I don't know if you caught this. Somebody took a flash photo of the movie screen.
Several times.
It's like, okay, I get that they didn't want to do it for Andrew Garfield because the public opinion on those movies, they suck. But it's like, you don't need to use the flash anyway.
Yeah! The flash is pointless in a fucking theater!
If anything, it's gonna ruin your shots.
It's dark in there! You don't need to illuminate the screen! That's the whole goddamn point!
You're gonna get a very nice picture of the back of those people's heads.
You use the flash when there is light to counteract it and brighten the subject! Not the fucking... That's probably why they kept doing it. Because they're like, oh, whoops, let me try it again. Flash was still on. Oops.
And then, as you alluded to, there were people with their fucking popcorn bags the whole fucking movie.
I almost said something. Like, I almost yelled, stop. Just stop. Like, I was so close to doing it. I didn't want to get kicked out and miss the movie because of some children and people being assholes.
There were people in front of us that were using the electric motors to recline their chairs non-stop.
Someone had a really whiny motor and they kept playing with it. I think it was a child because so many of those piled into the theater.
Oh my god.
I thought maybe we would hit a time when not too many people were there. There were tons of...
It was basically a matinee that we went to. And matinee on a Saturday, that was probably our bad.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing with it being in a theater. We had to rush in to see it before spoilers showed up everywhere. Since we can't fucking stream it when it came out. Yeah, I know, I was about to. Okay. I was going to do it while you were talking, so it's seamless.
Nope. We're still good.
Yeah, that's still good too. Let me just... we're just checking the timer. I could still film 29 minutes. All right. What is that shot even... Okay. It probably looks like shit. I was right in that camera. I probably ruined the zoom now. It's probably trying to focus.
Just use one of the other shots.
But speaking of ruining things, back to the theater experience. Like, you have to rush in to fucking see the movie in the theater ASAP. I had to do that with Sonic. I had to do that with Far From Home. Like, I went the morning after they opened because I couldn't go opening night. I used to work afternoons. It's like, fuck it, I'm just going to wake up at goddamn 7 a.m. and go see these movies before Twitter and Facebook have memes about the movies.
No one has any respect on social media anymore for... the fact that not everyone can get to a theater opening weekend to see a movie.
And I told you at the theater, this fucking Twitter account I follow that does AI bot paintings, you give it a prompt and it does some fucking eldritch horror painting of whatever prompt you give it. The more you mix together, the more disgusting and meaty it looks. But one of the prompts some asshole gave was Aunt May dies in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, thanks, dickhead. This account has 5 followers. Like, nobody knows this account exists, and someone found it and gave it that prompt just to spoil.
Boy.
But yeah, that theater experience was actually, I think you said earlier, like, we hadn't been in a while, so maybe it felt worse because of that. I swear it was also just the worst I've ever had. The snacks never stopped!
And it's just so distracting because people will pull out their phones in front of you, and it's like, oh, I didn't need to know that it's $3.49, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
It's like...
People were getting bored during, like, the slow moments. Like, when Tobey showed up, people were like, oh, this is a time to be on my phone. Like, no, this is when they're coming together.
The slow moments are what really shine in this movie.
Yeah.
And these people aren't going to know that because they weren't paying attention.
Yeah, maybe I think they're just too young to know who these other Spider-Mans were and these other villains. To them, it's just another Marvel movie. Go see it, yay!
Like, there's so much more to this particular one than the typical Marvel loaf.
Which helped benefit greatly. Like, it was almost an unfair advantage, but...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Having all these established characters that you're excited to see again.
Yep, with all that nostalgia, like, so much story behind them. Redemption for them, redemption for the actors.
Oh, absolutely.
Just to see that all unfold on screen again.
Because, honestly, at this point, we're kind of jaded to the MCU. Like, we're not talking about how special it is that Doctor Strange is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
He's been in, like, every movie.
It's just kind of an expected thing that the Avengers are going to cross over with each other in their respective movies at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that is kind of bad. Like, I remember how exciting it was just to go to the theater to see the first Avengers. It's like, oh my god, all the heroes are here.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh wow, another cameo from Hawkeye or whatever.
Yep.
It's like, that sucks.
Yeah, we went in, like, expecting this one to have, like, fucking have everyone, and it did. Like, the ones we cared about, the old movies. Matt Murdock! I still can't believe we fucking saw that.
That was exciting. It's like, I didn't know that was coming at all.
I figured he would because he was doing the usual rounds. He was like, I have nothing to do with this movie. And everyone's like, yeah, you fucking do. You're the lawyer for Spider-Man when he's in trouble. It's like, he has to be. He has to be. Like, I kept thinking that. Like, at one point they almost had me when he's like, no, we didn't actually get him. We're thinking about it. I was like, oh, but wait a minute. Remember when Hulk was running in the jungle and then he didn't? Yeah. Like, so fuck you lying. Like, I almost believed it because of how much Feige actually hated the Netflix producer. I think it was Neil Grant or something? A major comic writer producer was the head of it, and it was a separate studio from Marvel Studios. So he was always shunning them. And just to have that in there, too, with everything else, is like,
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was pleasantly surprised. I still didn't even see season 3 of Daredevil.
It's the best one!
That's what everybody says, and it's like, I kind of want to go back at this point. Check it out.
It's worth it.
Okay. Because I really fell off of the Netflix shows after Defenders.
Defenders was...
It was not the big crossover like Avengers was.
No. It was stinky.
It felt like a CW show.
It really did.
Yeah.
Those shows were the anti-CW show, but then eventually they kind of turned into them.
Yeah. Supposed to bring balance to the Force, not join the dark side.
Mm-hmm. Defenders did exactly that.
Yeah. Defenders just sort of lacked any teeth, I felt.
Yeah, nothing even happened.
We got to see Jessica Jones kind of fly.
Oh yeah, because she could just will herself to do it.
Yeah. That was about it.
Yeah, but season 3 of Daredevil picks up right after that with how he survived the rubble being buried, which doesn't really make sense, but fuck it. He did. It's just a really good season. It's cool to see that that's actually I'm pretty sure that's folded in. They were talking about, oh, we're going to bring him back eventually to reboot. We haven't yet, but we're going to reboot and hire him. Like, you already did, you fuckers.
The only indication I had that they were even still in talks with him was, I think, a comic book resource article about, oh yeah, he's definitely going to be the Daredevil for the MCU moving forward. It's like, oh, I wonder what that's about.
Yeah, by the time that article came out, I was like, I was sure again he was in the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like when it came out, I was like, yeah, of course you've talked to him. You've been talking to him when you filmed the movie. Fuckers, you talked to him a lot, didn't you? I know you goddamn talked to him about rebooting a show when he was on set.
Yeah. But, you know, nice little touch.
Yeah.
Should we go back to that pin? About Iron Man Jr.?
Yes, I actually remember that at one point and forgot.
Yeah.
I have terrible memory. I'm glad someone can remember things. Yes.
The big climactic ending, Spider-Man, Tom Holland, asks Doctor Strange to recast the spell to make everyone forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yes, because a goblin bomb freed the spell. It was in the box. Green Goblin gets the box away. Strange gets it back. And then the Spideys are looking at him like, don't press it, motherfucker. And then all of a sudden Tom Holland Spidey's like, no! Because he notices the bomb is tucked in it and it explodes and frees the spell again.
The spell is causing rips throughout the multiverse. And the only way to undo it is for Strange to recast the spell as it was originally intended.
Yep.
And everyone forgets who Peter Parker is.
Yep. But first, while the rips are going on, you see a bunch of like villains because other villains are trying to get through. And I'm pretty sure you see a meat rhino, like a big burly man with a horn coming off his head. That's my rhino. I love Meat Man Rhino.
And I love that Andrew Garfield pokes fun at his rhino.
Fought a Russian in a rhino tank or something.
Yep. That was the closest he gets to fighting an alien.
Yeah. He was so disappointed in his villains. So were we.
Right, talking about Iron Man Jr.
Yep, so the spell.
Yes, everybody, including MJ and Ned and Happy Hogan, everybody forgets who Peter Parker is.
Yes.
Like, they've never met him. And the ramifications there, he's completely alone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He has to, like you even see in his stuff that he's moving into that shitty apartment that he's going to live in, that he has to take the GED.
Yep, he never graduated high school.
Oh my god, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks hard.
The beginning of the movie, he's trying to get into MIT. He saves that woman from Ock during their awesome fight, and she's like, I'm going to get you and your friends in. Yeah. Because nobody wants them because of the controversy of him killing Mysterio.
Well, they get in, but...
he has to get his GED. That really sucks.
Yeah. Like, going from, like, that elite school to having to get his GED. But,
in a shitty apartment with nobody knowing who he is.
This means he's going into the next movie with no connections.
Nope.
So he is basically grassroots Spider-Man, which is what I know, at least I really wanted.
Me too. I like his movies. I don't like that he's baby Iron Man. So we're getting Spider-Man as God intended. Yep. In a corny-looking cloth suit he made himself.
We only get the briefest of glimpses of it.
Yep. Just enough to get you to want to see it because it looks cool, but you don't get to see enough of it.
I feel like it's going to look a lot like Andrew Garfield's, but possibly with the lenses that sort of readjust, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if he'll have those because...
We don't know.
You didn't really get to see them do it, and that was Stark Tech that made him do it.
Yeah, so...
Hey everyone, just checking the cameras again.
They're still good. We're at an hour and 20.
Oh god, editing's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be lazy and release this in parts like an asshole.
It'll make it more watchable, I think.
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch the fucking 2-hour thing of this.
No.
One thing I was gonna say, did you catch how So before everyone's about to get their memories wiped, Ned and MJ are like, "Oh, you gotta come find us." And he was saying he was gonna come find them, and they're like, "Yeah, make sure you do and help us remember." And then when he gets to the coffee shop, he seems to give up on that.
It's because he saw the cut on MJ's brow, and he realized that even with them not remembering them, they've still got the scars, metaphorically. And
they got their futures back without him in their lives. They're
so
both
maybe
at
they're
MIT.
better off overall.
Yep.
And maybe it's not worth the risk of letting people in to know who you are, because Alex Jones will just expose you again.
Yep.
They've really leaned into J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Definitely was very much the analog for Alex Jones. And
yeah. I love how much he profited off of that revelation, because first you see him filming, like us, on a green screen, in like his living room, and then
he's hawking his, power pills or whatever.
Yeah, Daily Bugle supplements or something.
Which, again, Alex Jones is very much,
and he's in a big studio. Like, it became a full-on production. Because you think he's got that going already because he was on a green screen the whole time. But he's just some asshole with a camera. And then now he's got a show profiting from this whole thing with Spider-Man. Which he probably doesn't now because he didn't get that Mysterio story.
Yeah.
That was undone.
The Mysterio story that also exposed Parker's identity. Since that's not a thing anymore.
Yep.
But I do feel that making him that misinformation shock jock internet personality like Alex Jones is the right way to modernize J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, because there was no real reason for him to be that angry at Spider-Man and hate him.
Yeah.
Like, Spidey's always had a good reason to hide who he was. So that was always weak. That was always Jonah's reason. He didn't like him being masked and not showing his intentions. But it's like, who would? That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, so that I'm glad they went that route.
Like, we already had the Civil War storyline where talking about exposing identities was like the core concept.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that they would take Jameson and Spider-Man's relationship in a different direction.
Yeah.
So he's just blindly trying to profiteer off of sensationalized stories, which tabloid magazines, that's what they basically do. So updating it to a Alex Jones type internet personality.
Who even swooped in when Aunt May died.
Yes.
He made sure he was there to blame Spidey for the whole building coming down.
Yes.
When there was really no proof he did.
Well, I mean, pushing Green Goblin through the floor a few times probably didn't help.
Yeah. But it was being lightninged and blown up and sanded.
Yeah.
And climbed on by a lizard.
I'm sure Lizard really contributed.
Yep.
A for effort.
He threw Spidey back in, and then that helped Goblin do like a fucking takedown through the floor on Spidey.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, I said that it felt kind of like fleeting with their interactions, but I think that's because they were talking about doing an actual Spider-Verse movie, which means they're going to drag more Spideys in, which was kind of what we were talking about might not be the greatest thing.
Well, the fleeting interactions, I feel they were trying to have a cohesive story of its own for the film.
Yeah.
And they also wanted to have...
Keep going. I'm just turn the camera, because I think I accidentally nudged it a couple times when I was trying to fix things. But yeah, like, they're trying to...
trying to have a cohesive story of the film's own, and they also had all these other little like set pieces and cool things that they wanted to do. So
they had to loaf it up.
They didn't want to make it a 4-hour epic like the Snyder Cut, which we've already discussed on the way here to make this video.
good movie, but who's gonna set aside the time to rewatch that?
Yes, you have to like plan days in advance if you're gonna rewatch the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Which, it's good enough that I feel like you could do that. It's not one of those things where it's like you've seen it once and it's like, okay, never again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's an event that you have to plan in advance. They didn't want something that's going to be that long. They wanted to make it a reasonable movie length, so 2.5 hours.
Yeah, which is still long.
It's long, but it's not.
It didn't feel
stupid
like it.
Long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can understand why they'd want you to want more.
Yeah, because they're
They
doing
leave you
more.
wanting more, and that's what they say in show business. Show business. That's
Business.
show business. Leave them wanting more, and they did that. And
Yeah.
I would be okay if they wanted to revive the Raimi-verse and maybe even Mark Webb, but have someone else.
Yeah,
helm it.
that's what people are saying. They would like to see those movies get their own sequels.
And there's not really a reason they can't.
Yeah, now people I mean, the moviegoers that were rustling their fucking snacks probably didn't understand what was going on, but a lot of people that have watched this movie know the multiverse is happening. A lot of people watched Loki, and that's what established that this can happen, because the multiverse was brought back after being clipped down to just Marvel Loaf universe.
Like, even if they just come back for cameos in future films, like, just maybe another team-up movie. Anything. I'd love to see these characters come back again.
Well, they're definitely going to meet up, because remember what Electro was hinting at when he was talking to Andrew Garfield? After he gets cured with his energy-sucking thing, he's like, you're from Queens, and you're trying to like help the poor all the time. I thought you would be black. Because he taktakes his mask off, and he's like, you're just a young white kid. And
that was fun, because he calls him, you're just a kid, you know, and Andrew Garfield gives this sort of...
Yeah.
Like... that was a nice little nod to the fact that people were saying he looked too old, even in Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's definitely too old now.
Yeah, because he was like a 25-year-old playing a sophomore. But then, like, Electro says, like, oh, you know, somewhere out there has to be a black Spider-Man. So it's like, Miles is definitely going to be showing up. It's probably going to be in another universe.
They have to at this point.
Yeah.
Miles Morales is too popular of a character to ignore at this point.
Yeah, and just the way Electro put it, he's like, somewhere out there in another universe there has to be a black Spider-Man. So there's probably... Maybe these characters will show up in Spider-Verse 2. Maybe they'll show up in some bigger Spider-Verse that's live action. One way or another, Miles Morales is like going to meet up with them.
And I think what it really all boils down to is that this movie made me excited for Spider-Man again. Like, it's something that I've been feeling kind of jaded about since Homecoming, really. Like, well, even before that. His cameo in Civil War.
When they shoehorned him into the conflict.
Like, he didn't need to be there. They did it just because they could, because they hammered out the details for it. And
Yeah.
like, he was kind of wasted in that plot.
Yeah.
He was just sort of there as like a distraction, and then he was gone.
Yeah. I mean...
And I've never been a fan of Iron Man Jr.
Yeah, it's... The moments when he's Spider-Man are cool, but there's a lot of... He's using Stark Tech his entire career.
And now that that's done...
Yeah, and undone.
Yes. I see bright things moving forward for Tom Holland as Spider-Man. The implications of Miles Morales coming up.
Yeah.
That's exciting. They might do the symbiote arc properly this time, because they're going to give it room to breathe.
Yep.
It's not going to be fighting for screen time with two other villains.
Yeah.
With any luck. And we're just talking about a movie with 5 villains. So,
yeah, but they were established already.
yes.
So this was like an Avengers pull. thing pulling them together.
They weren't rushing together 3 brand new characters.
Yep. You already know their backstories.
Yeah.
Change time.
Oh my god.
Well, you can keep going. You do have a camera.
Well, the thing is, it's like, how much more do we even have to say?
Well, this is probably the last. The last
Reboot.
Yeah, because I mean we've said it. Like there's gonna be another one coming. Like they seem to have fixed pretty much any issues with Holland Spider-Man. He's back to just being Spidey.
They've redeemed Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Yep.
They gave us a nice little epilogue for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yep. And they fucked up everyone's timelines. How does any of this still happen? How did Tom Holland have a career as Spider-Man? Did he fight Mysterio? Who the fuck knows? Because Mysterio was using Stark Tech. Goddamn, I don't think anything's happened in any of these universes anymore. Like, how did Doc Ock still be Doc Ock? When it was Harry that gave him the funding and Norman might not have.
So, if we don't think too much about the timeline ramifications of any of this...
Yeah. They need to iron that out. I want them to. I need to see how the fuck this all still happened.
Well, we already know that the multiverse is completely fucked. Because the post-credits is a trailer for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
Which I'm under the impression is a direct continuation of Doctor Strange's branch of the story. The timeline's completely fucked because of the miscast of the first spell.
Yep, he didn't entirely fix everything like they thought. Because it was more of a trailer for the movie. It's not like a post-credits scene.
Yeah,
it's a trailer.
Like an actual proper trailer.
Yeah, the mid-credits you get is Venom drunkenly talking to a bartender at that resort that he's at the end of Venom 2. And that's when he leaves a chunk of Venom behind. Yeah, but like Strange is definitely picking up from this.
So we already know that the multiverse is completely fucked up.
And he's gonna be fighting an evil version of himself. My favorite trope in Marvel movies and hero movies in general.
Yeah, which that's kind of disappointing because Doctor Strange 1 completely avoided that.
Yeah.
In the most spectacular way. Like, there wasn't even a proper fight for the final moments of the film. But yeah, overall, very satisfying movie.
Yeah, like I did like it overall. The only thing was that I just wanted more. I just wanted to see more of the interactions, that's all.
And with any luck, we'll get that in future installments.
Yeah, at least with the heroes we will.
Yes, so as a fan of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, they definitely redeemed his character and his ability to play the character.
Yeah. And they organically brought Tobey back.
Yes.
That was really cool to see after all these years.
Yes. They had plenty of reverence for the movies that came before.
Yeah.
Just, if you're a Spider-Man fan, I highly recommend it. Like, you're probably already going to go see it anyway, but if you had any reservations about how they handle anything, they do it very, very well.
Yes.
Is that it?
Go see Spider-Man 3, goddamn 8, 9, 8? Is the 8 movie?
I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
I was going to throw this up there.
Do we count Civil War?
Well, he's been in a lot of movies besides Civil War.
Oh my god, because then we have to count both of the Avengers, the last 2 Avengers movies. And
The Venom movies?
is he in those? Well, I guess they're in the timeline now.
He's in the end of Venom 2. Because the symbiotes are a hive mind, and Venom recognized it across the multiverse. But then they don't do anything with it. Because he never meets him like I'd hoped. They didn't put Topher Grace in the movie. Which, yeah, I'm glad.
3 out of 10, because no Miguel O'Hara.
I have to poop.
Bye!
I can't remember.